This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock.
Hello, and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and I'm coming to you live-ish, not live. That is the kind of thing I say when I stream, but this is not a stream. I'm not live right now. At all. I'm not even trolling. I've already done my live stream for the day, and now I'm recording a video to go live tomorrow on the YouTube channel because I always have and continue to try to make video content separate from Twitch content most of the time because I know you guys like video content made specifically for YouTube. I know that means a lot to you guys. So that's what we're doing, and it's the first day of class with Strixhaven, and I'm going to play the deck that impressed me the most during my live stream. So, fresh content from the PRISMARI deck. So PRISMARI, in preview season, I was very skeptical of the way that this deck works because it seems to be like this large, big spell thing, but you also early on just want to discard those spells and exile those large spells from the graveyard. And I'm going to go over a lot of new cards here, so it's going to be a slightly longer than normal intro. So, first one I want to talk about is Magma Opus. This is 6 blue-red for an instant, 4 damage, divided as you choose among any number of targets. It's mythic, so you better be sure if you're going to craft it. Tap 2 target permanents, create a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token, draw 2 cards. A lot of value, but for 8 mana, it's really not that much. But then the real kicker is that it has this mode of blue and red, discard Magma Opus to create a treasure token. So if it's early in the game and you're nowhere near casting it, discarding this and making a treasure makes you more likely to cast it or other spells later. And the reason that we want huge effects like Magma Opus and its sweet art and name is because we have multiple effects in our deck that let us exile a card from the graveyard and get some kind of big payoff for exiling an instant or sorcery spell in the graveyard. So I'll get to that in just a second. The other big spell we have here is Creative Outburst. 3 blue, red. And this one is an uncommon. Nice. Deals 5 damage to any target. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom in any order. Very expensive removal that also draws a card. Feels good. Can go face. And then it also has that ability. Blue, red. Discard it, make a treasure. This has performed a lot better than I expected it to, mostly because just casting these spells at the top end and going face has been a lot better than I would have anticipated. But what we are doing with them early is ramping into cards that give you a payoff for having these in the yard. The first of those that I'll cover is Torrent Sculptor. Torrent Sculptor is both an enabler and a payoff in one card. This is 2 and a blue for a 2/2 ward 2. Ward is, if this is targeted, that targeting effect or spell gets countered unless they pay 2 additional mana, which is like hexproof in the early game. And when it enters the battlefield, exile an instant or sorcery card from the graveyard, put a number of counters on the sculptor equal to half that card's mana value. Rounded up. So if you exile either the Creative Outburst or the Magma Opus, this is a 6/6, and you can play it on turn 3 because you can discard the Outburst or the Magma Opus to make a treasure. So that play pattern is really good. That is a turn 3 6/6, somewhat hexproof because of ward, that can beat a Lovestruck Beast. So one of the few play patterns with the new cards that does beat the ELDRAINE cards. That's why it excited me, and it has proven good so far. In practice. The other side, the Flamethrower Sonata, is also an enabler where you can discard one of these huge Creative Outburst cards to deal that much damage to a target. And so, yeah, if you play the Flamethrower Sonata, you get to discard Creative Outburst for Magma Opus and deal 7 or 8 damage to target creature. Or Planeswalker. And that is basically a cheap but powerful removal spell that can kill a Lovestruck Beast. So this is impressed. The other cool card is Draconic Intervention. As an additional cost to cast the spell, exile an instant or sorcery from the graveyard. We talked about that. There's another card that's 4 mana, so you can play it on turn 4 after you make a treasure. And it deals X damage to each non-dragon creature, where X is the mana value. If they would die, exile them instead. Exile the intervention. Pretty great. Because one thing that the Izzet Tempo Goldspan Dragon deck from last format really needed, and I mean really needed, It needed a sweeper for when the aggro decks did aggro things. And now we have a sweeper effect that our dragon survives. And that is pretty nice. And we can play it as early as turn 3, thanks to mana ramp from Opus or Outburst. And it can kill, once again, a Lovestruck Beast. Very large cards. Very important. So then the rest of the deck is filled out with some cards that you know and love. So if you're not playing any Eldraine cards in your deck, it might be a bad deck. So we have Brazen Borrower and Bone Crusher Giant, and we have Mystical Dispute to keep ultimatums from happening or countering into the story from the Rogues deck. And we have Prismari Command, which gets you a treasure, it can draw 2 or discard 2, it can destroy an artifact, it can deal 2 to any target. A very flexible card, and you get to choose 2 of the modes. So on one hand, it can ramp you into the dragon while also killing something. On the other hand, it can help you dig and put more stuff in your graveyard if that's important for a reason. So yeah, this is an exciting Prismari deck to try out. The other new card is Frostboil Snarl, which makes me run cards like Ketria Triumph because they are island/mountains. This makes you reveal an island mountain from your hand in order to be untapped. And then over here we have a Karuga because every spell in the deck has a converted mana cost of 3 or greater. Sorry, mana value of 3 or greater, even though the deck actually has potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23 potential cards that you could play on turns 1 or 2, or at least effects that you could play on turns 1 or 2. So, pretty sweet deck, and I'm excited to play it for you today. Today's video is dedicated to Joshua Young. Not only are you a new member to the Cool Kids Club, and by becoming a YouTube member and hitting the join button below, you are my 400th member. A few days ago, I said that if we hit 420 members before the date 420, you would get a special video. Well, it is the 15th, and we are now at 400 members. Like, absolutely amazing. You guys are blowing it out of the park. So at this point, we only need 20 more members from here to hit the 420 mark before 420 for a very special video. And on top of that, Joshua Young, thank you very much. So yesterday's video, the one that I put up to kind of tease that there was going to be a video today, was actually also the same day that the streak hit 800. It has been 800 consecutive days in a row, and I've gone every single one of those days releasing an MTG Arena video here on the channel. So the streak hit 800 yesterday's, guys. This is 801. Just another, like, these numbers don't seem real anymore, but I know you guys get really hyped about them, so I want to make sure I got to mention that. Now we're going to hit the store and purchase something, some kind of cosmetic in Joshua Young's honor, and I know exactly what I want. I want the stickers. I want the Liliana head, strict Liliana. I want the fight in Rowan. I want the confused Will. We're getting the stickers bundle here in your honor. So every time I use one of those, we'll remember our 400th member, our 800th day in the streak. We'll remember the one, the only, Joshua Young. And let's equip these suckers. I want to see this on the profile. So when you equip stuff, you have to go to emotes, right? And then they take the place of other emotes. So let's see. I kind of want to keep it on one page because we can't get rid of these. So what do we disable? I guess I'll disable Z's because some people seem to think that that's salty. And we got to keep the purple love. I'll discard the dabs. We'll discard the dabs for now. And I think you can fit 6 on one page, right? No, it's 5 because I just got 3 and I only disabled 2. So we have to disable 1 more. I guess, I mean, I kind of like the Silly Angel, to be honest, but the Silly Angel and Rowan are about the same. So we'll go with this. All right, long intro. Had to explain a few new cards. Now it's time to dive in. Let the Prismari nonsense begin. I will do a few games of ranked to see how it really does, but I'm going to warm up just with some play queue games because I don't want 100% of my games to be against rogues and against Sultai and against mono white. So far, playing ranked today, I've played against rogues in it's high. It's like between 70 and 80% of my games, and that just doesn't make for great video content all the time. So a little play queue, but we will do some ranked before the end. We've got the Opus and the Intervention, and we've got the Dispute. So we'll keep it. We have either a sweeper or a counter if they play a slow deck. Exciting. Also pretty cool that you can use the discard to create a treasure effect at instant speed. So you can leave up removal, you can leave up counter magic. Adjust those sound effects there. Let's go ahead and play blue. Well, let's just play the Snarl. So I've been overthinking my sequencing on these lands. You should probably just play them when you can. Although giving away some hand information looks bad. Just getting it played and also holding up Dispute here, it's worth it. Our opponent plays Necroblossom Snarl after a Triome, and they have foretold a card. I have no idea what that could mean. I have no idea what could be going on here. I love it. I love playing against new cards. We'll hang on to the Opus. Oh, punish for hanging on to the Opus. Oh, I guess this way we can defend it potentially against a blue spell. Which I don't know if that's going to be a thing. What do you guys think? Do we discard this, then make the 6/6 ward, and then the next turn make the dragon? I think so. I think that's the line. We could also discard this and play the dragon next turn. Let's see what they do. Interesting. Interesting, guys. I think if we wait one more turn on dragon and have a counterspell, we'll be happier. Let's ward up. 6/6. Ward 2. If they want to kill it, like Binding, they don't have enough mana. They go with an event. Okay. That gets around it. Turns out these cards are still good. All right, they have all spells in hand because they didn't play a land. So here comes the dragon. And now we have a Dispute for their next Extinction event. They drew a land off the top, and they passed the turn, so maybe they want to interact with my dragon at instant speed? Let's find out. We could hold this. Discarding a land to the command to draw new cards is pretty great. Draws 2 cards, then discards 2 cards. We also have the Outburst here. Outburst deals 5 damage to a target, and we get to look at top so many. So this is an interesting spot for sure. The opponent takes the hit from the dragon. I think I hold here. I could buy this. Not a lot of downside to doing it. We can still cast most of the cards in our hand. Anticlimactic. Anticlimactic, but I think you see what we're going for. Play queue gets one more try, but now I remember why I don't like recording in the play queue. People quit a lot. Me included. I'm not above it. I will tell you straight up, when I get a matchup or an opponent I don't like in the play queue, like, I'm out of there. I do not goof around. So this hand is not good. We have 2 Draconic Interventions against Yorion, so it's a mulligan. This is better. We only have 1 intervention and we have to put it back anyway. And we'll see if Torrent Sculptor Magma Opus is good. A little worried about not having double blue yet, but we'll probably draw it. It's a lot of Torrent Sculpting. Let's say go. We can make the treasure on their end step, then go for a Sculptor. We might also be able to use Sculptor as a removal spell. We'll pause here, let them think that we have Negate or Dispute, something like that. We really do need to draw the Mystical Disputes in this matchup. There aren't many of them. If we don't, it's going to get really rough. Okay. Make treasure. Land, Sculptor. We are potentially 2 for 1 if they find a way to deal with this. Like, if they have Extinction Event, that's a big sad. But it does get around Eliminate and Heartless Act. Not only that, if they can't deal with it, we get to do it again. And they're digging. They're digging with Behold the Multiverse right now. All right. You love to see it. Now let's see if we can finish them quickly. Ow. Well, Extinction Event, Binding. Oh no, they don't know. Or if they do know, check it out. They target it. They don't have 2 mana to pay. It's countered. Do we go for another one? I think what we do is do this. Yeah, they give it the oops. So they do have the mana again to bind next turn. So let's do both of these things. Oh, that's a draw. Do we Torrent Sculptor here? Or do we Dragon? Torrent Sculptor is definitely live, because if they go for Binding, they can pay 2, but they only kill 1. If they only kill 1, they die to the Dragon the next turn. If we play the Dragon this turn, we're good around Shadow's Verdict, and they can only exile 1 thing. But they can play the Binding and kill the Dragon and have 2 mana to do something else. So I think it's this. I think it's this. If they have Extinction Event, it's a bit of a punish, but they would have played it before. Unless they really thought the Binding was going to work. But yeah, Binding here taps them out completely to kill 1 of them, and then Goldspan finishes the job. No! How? How did they have it? They don't even play that many of that card. Oh, it's sad. All right, they're about to hit us. Yeah, they are about to ultimatum, and we are getting punished for these snarls because we don't have a land to reveal. If they have a Heartless Act, this is brutal. It's very brutal. Dragon. Man. Discard a card, draw a card. When you discard an instant or sorcery, damage. All right. So we can't, like, damage this somehow. All right. Oh, man. I was trying to find a way to also play the Borrower next turn and give me a chance. Okay, that's not an ultimatum. But they do get to bind the Goldspan Dragon. So we have to find a way to finish this game. Man, that Extinction Event was so fortunate. All right, another dragon off the top is also lethal. Fail. That's 2 damage to the face. All right, say go. If they tap out for ultimatum, if they don't gain life and they can't block the Borrower, we can win. The deck has an unnerving amount of face damage between the Magma Opuses, between the Creative Outburst, between the Bone Crusher Giant. Like, there's actually a ton of face damage. They're cultivating. All right, they're not going for an ultimatum here. What are they going for? What do you guys think? Do they have removal? Should we play the Borrower? Two mana open. They didn't have removal before for the dragon, but they could have an eliminate. Let's go for the lethals. Let's try. Untaps. Come on. Come on. Oh, that stick. No. No, they had the eliminate. No. Oh my God, they're so lucky. All right. I don't have the mana to outburst, but I can command them and make a treasure and then top deck and then outburst them. No, wait. That's not what's important. What's important is to draw 2, right? Because as long as if we make a treasure, and we hit a land drop, and we outburst them next turn, we win. Now, we don't have to do it right now, but I think it's right. Hold on. We have to deal 2 to them, though. Oh, man, we can't do 3 modes. All right. I guess this resolves. Deal 2 to them, make a treasure. What else could I do this turn? I could play a sculptor, but I want to play this first. So I guess I'm not drawing. It's just 2 to them, make a treasure. We want to do it on their end step. And then we top deck a land, we win. Are they just passing? No, they were checking for priority. Well, yeah, I've got something. All right, another cultivate. Probably a Yori in here. Wait, I don't have to deal 2 to them. God, what is going on with my brain? I streamed all day. Be cool to me. I don't have to deal 2 to them if I get to cast the outburst. But this is okay because we're waiting for information. Now I could try to hit a mystical dispute here. That could happen. Target player. It doesn't say which mode, which is awkward. Dragon. Discard 2 cards. Is that right? Or no, we discard this, because dragon is lethal. And this can pave the way. Alright. What do you get? We're not letting them have an all-runs epiphany, so they get whatever the other thing is. The Torrent Sculptor can throw off... No, it can't. Oh, gosh. We don't have an instant or sorcery. Like, this would have to discard... Oh, man. We don't have a good card to discard to deal damage with this. I shouldn't have kept this. Actually, it doesn't matter, I don't think. I guess I should have kept the Outburst. Yeah. Darn it. Okay. Well, they can't have that. And this doesn't kill it because I'd have to discard an instant or sorcery, which I don't frickin' have. So this was a bad keep. I should have kept the Creative Outburst, because then I might just draw a land and win.
I have cosmic aspirations, dear Planeswalker.
And they say go? What? Excuse me? Okay. Okay. We play the best deck in Standard in the play queue, and they kind of threw us one there. We might have been able to win anyway, but wow. Okay. All right, ranked gamer moments. Let's go, esports. Let's do this. Never going back to the play queue again, man. Never going back again. It's either early scoops or you play against the best decks anyway. May as well play ranked. I say that. I bet I'll be in the play queue tomorrow. You know me. I'm just full of crap. Looks like a fun keep. We get to go treasure into dragon with Mystical Dispute. Fervent Champion. Oh, we drew a two mana play. Might be nice. Not in a hurry to use the Opus here. So if they give me a Robber of the Rich, I'll bounce it. I give 0 foxes, man. Prismari command looking nice. 2 damage and a treasure into dragon. Whew. Okay, that's not that bad. Should I bounce that, though? Like, what am I saving it for? I guess after I play the dragon, right? That's what I'm saving it for. So we'll make the treasure. Yeah, that's it. Treasure token. So we play dragon, bounce their annex. Like, that's really good. Oh, that's really good too. It even exiles the charger. Okay, but we're gonna chill. We're not gonna use our ramp on the intervention. That can happen after we play our Goldspan dragon. Oh my goodness, this might be really good. This might be absolutely disgusting. Rimrock Knight. Cool. Very cool. All right, 2 damage to a target and create a treasure token. I will target this and I will target myself for the treasure token. Don't know why my opponent could ever have a treasure token. Like, who would do that? But this lets us play dragon. Even draw the land here. Oh, yes. Remember, this deals damage to non-dragon creatures. Non-dragon creatures. Oh, it's beautiful. Summoning Sick Faceless Haven hits the field. Look, they added this animation so people would stop activating such an Haven. All right, we just let that go now because we exile. Don't even have to counter it. Don't have to Brazen Borrow it. Draconic Intervention is an exile effect. Oh my goodness. I mean, I ripped on this deck. I ripped on this style. I ripped on this card specifically during our spoiler cast, like on the ArenaCraft podcast here on the channel. Thank you to everybody who watched that, by the way. Record numbers watching that podcast for Arjuna and I. Appreciate you. But man, am I having fun with this. Like, this is gross. Woo! Your turn. What else you got? Oh, I love it. I'm in love. I am Prismari. Since I'm so in touch with my audience, I know people are going to ask, like, why do I have no quest? I have no idea. I know I already got my quests for the day. I know I did my dailies, but yeah, it's kind of weird having nothing down here for mastery or anything else. So, day 1 bugs, there's always some of them. So if you see something that you can't quite explain today watching this video, the answer is it's probably a day 1 bug, and will probably be patched sometime tomorrow or by Monday before you even know it. All right, number 85 with no companion, probably aggro, and look at this hand. Look at this hand. Oh my goodness. If they are an aggro deck, this hand is so good. Mono white is not, it's not as good against mono white. I would say that, because they can have Selfless Savior into Aspirant into Sky Maul. Mutate. Ooh, okay. I wonder if I was supposed to kill that instead, but I think the right play is to put them on a clock and then cast Intervention. The problem is we don't have 2 spells. We only have 1. So this is a little risky. I'm doing it. I'm going to try to attack them. They're obviously on like the Omen Path Mutate deck. Probably. I say obviously, maybe I'm wrong about that. They're probably on the Omen Path Mutate deck. But yeah, without a spell in the graveyard, this is not a good card, so we need to draw another spell. Drawing Mystical Dispute would be awesome too, to counter their Vadrock when they go for that. And, you know, Bone Crusher Giant isn't a great draw, but any Brazen Borrower is. Prismari Command is okay. All right, they're going to seize the spoils, discarding, solve the equation, search for an instant or sorcery. Another dragon. We have a bad turn here, which is really unfortunate. The price of going all in on these treasures. Sometimes things don't go your way. And we'll see if our opponent can pop off next turn. I think I did this wrong. I probably should have just killed this on sight. I wouldn't have the pressure on the board that I have now. but the opponent would need to actually create a board that could mutate. Okay, showdown. Okay, they're not popping off yet. There's a Vadrock, though. Probably what they were looking for. And they have a treasure token. Oh, that's a borrower. If we borrow their Polywog, they could be in big trouble. That's a borrower. Dragon. Opponent could go for an unsummon on the dragon. That would mess up our borrower. We'd have to bounce this Polywog now, I think, if they go for that. They do not. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Opponent's probably going to try to mutate the Vadrock. Do we let the first mutation happen? There's nothing that makes mana here. Oh, there is now. They're going for open the Omen Paths. Okay. Six mana. Can they replay this and unsummon and replay this? I don't think so. It's too much, right? All right, trigger on the stack. Before they can draw into a counter of some kind. Bounce. Was it enough to disrupt them? They can still mutate onto this. Okay. Do they have another mutation? Yeah, they do. All right. I'm pretty sure that means they win, right? 2x speed, gamers. 2x speed. Oh my goodness. Looks like we're gonna get wrecked. They might time out, but if they're number 85, they know what they're doing with the deck, I'm sure. They don't have anything that doesn't have summoning sickness, though. They're going to have huge creatures because of the showdown, so I don't think the intervention will save us anymore. Man, their draw, their draw really worked. Like, it was good. I put as much pressure on as I could, and I failed. They are still at 4, though. They need 2 flying blockers. I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm tempted to play it out, but I'm pretty sure I've lost. I don't know, guys. I don't know what to do. What would you do? I guess fast forward till the end is probably what you'll do. Unless you're trying to learn how to play this deck. This sweet Open the Omen Paths pile. I wish I could spend my time mastering this deck. It's too hard for me. It takes, I don't have enough time to play it enough to get good. Yeah, all they need is a way to give it haste because I think they're going to get it big enough. Divide by 0. Return a spell or permanent. They target itself. Okay. Well, start over, I guess. Spirit summoning is what they learned. Yeah, you can tell just from the speed of action, this person's played this deck a lot. Like, a lot. So, do you think that they discard this and bring it back? What does it cost to bring this back? 1, sacrifice Feather, return target Phoenix to the battlefield. So they can't use this mana to do it. So they need another way to make the mana if they want to get this back, and it doesn't have haste. I'm just thinking of it that way because I'm used to thinking of a Phoenix card that way. I know from playing this deck, though, that eventually it kicks in. Eventually, the timer kicks in. So that's a way to make some mana. They can make treasure tokens. Prismari command seems perfect for this Mutate deck, too. Yeah, the treasures give them mana to interact with, or to play, or to pay for things that aren't creatures or enchantments, like the Omen Paths. Man, if I killed that, if I just killed the 1/3, I wonder. Without the pressure from the Tauren Sculptor, it doesn't seem like I could have possibly closed fast enough, though. That card dealt a lot of damage. Okay, the timer started. The one that says, even if you've been taking actions, we're going to pass the turn. So now they're on the real clock for taking so long. Let's see if they can close the game. They only have one timeout. They can't go to... All right, they're grabbing Seize the Spoils. They're grabbing Search for Glory. Oh, it's ticking. I'm sure they know what to do. They grab the All form, okay. I mean, but are you going to have time to resolve it here? They discard it. Wow. Think they gave up on that line. They play the dragon, okay. So they've got blockers now. Yeah, they just went for blockers at the last minute. This is a changeling, so you can actually return it to the battlefield. Why did they get more time? That's crap. How did they get more time? Yeah, you're done. You're done now. Done. Okay. We're gonna go for the win with the dragons. Might not work. Just saying. Might not work. All that they need is some kind of a spell here. Shelter. Okay. Oh, it makes a copy because of the all form. That's nice. That's nice. All right. Name blue. They shouldn't be able to take any more actions for the amount of time they took, I think. That's my opinion. Is this a sorcery? No, it's a sorcery. Oh, come on. I thought the flamethrower was an instant. All right. All right. Cool deck. Well done. Well done. Well done. Get me the hell out. I'm mad. Waited all that time for nothing. Let them run that whole timer, and then they still got to do stuff on my turn. It's not fair. All right. On the play. Let's go. Seems fun. Actual nothing to do here, so just won't give them the hand info. Fairy Guide Mother. Stompy Stomps, probably. But let's see what else they play. Could have a Luminarch Aspirant. Leonin Light Scribe. Okay, that's gonna die. Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant, creatures you control get +1/+1. How about no? How about no? So, we don't want to run out... We don't want to run out the giant because we might blow up the world with the intervention. Let's play this and let's use the command to make a treasure. Probably. That way if we top deck a land, we can dragon. If we don't, we can opus and then dragon later. Guiding Voice, +1/+1 counter and learn. That seems like a good reason to do this. Nice to see somebody else playing with some new cards. It's pretty cool. Guiding Voice, though, interesting card. It really overperformed for me in the sealed that I did with Nerd Girl before recording this video. Like, that's a card I might play in the future. We didn't draw the land, so we pass. We use this to make treasure, then we play Dragon next turn. Then we play Intervention sometime after that, and maybe get to cast one of these Magma Opuses, if our Dragon makes enough mana. Yep, some kind of a white, green, what would you call it, Prowess style deck, because I'm sure it runs Lumimancer with all these spells. Treasure token. They've got they probably have another Guiding Voice for 1 white. They might have some other trick. Not sure what though. Still no land. Okay, stuck on 3. Fortunately, we have a lot of ways to grab some incidental mana. We have a lot of cards that make treasure in this deck. I think it's 16 of them. Love Struck Beast. Yep, keep them coming. Play it all. Play it all. Defiant Strike is the card they were sitting on, okay? Owie. But man, Draconic Intervention. I don't know. Like, maybe it's this deck specifically. There might not be a card I was wronger about than Draconic Intervention. My god, do I get to do it this way? I could play this now and then have 4 mana. No, this is... I get to do this. It might only be good in this deck, which I think is the downside, but man, does this card feel good. Wait, where are you going? Oh, they didn't stay to see. Okay. That's sad. Okay, interesting hand. We'll give it a try. I'm not sure about this, but like if Brazen Borrower is good in the matchup, this should be interesting because we have choices to make on ramp or hold these until we get to cast them as super high impact spells. Attack with a 3/1. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do with this hand. Doesn't have a direction yet. Castle Garenbrig tapped. Sure. Triple Brazen Borrower. Shuffler is fine. Shuffler fineness confirmed. Create a 1/1 Pest. Learn. Okay. Pest assembled. That is a good borrower target. And they get Pest Summoning. Alright, they're just going to spam pests. That is good for us if we draw into the Draconic Intervention. And Brazen Borrower goes over the top and can get some attacks in. So I'm not feeling too bad yet. If they play the 11-10 big old, is it a Demigorgon? I'm just going to call it that because of Stranger Things. If they play the Demigorgon, we can bounce it a few times. Keep bad things from happening to us. Pest Summoning. What do you know? Hello. Okay, whatever. Let's get brazen. Let's get Let's get brazen up in here. Brazen raisin. Here come the dorks. Look at them. All those nasty teeth. All those spikes. Ooh, opponent is really not sure what to go for here. Careful taps. Gotta be careful. Wouldn't want to mess up here. 3 mana. Whoa, Strider. Do we want to bounce that? Do we want to counter that? I don't know. We could also just play another Brazen Borrower and try to race. I think that's better. I think it's best to ignore this. I know that it can sacrifice these and gain a little life, but I think this is fine. I'm just going to stop trying to interact with them and try to kill them. Snarl doing snarl things. Being tapped. Feels bads. The deck has a surprising amount of burn. I think I said it earlier, but between Outburst, Opus, Prismari Command, Bone Crusher Giant, and then the Haste of the Dragon, like, it can deal so much damage. Yeah, I had a feeling there was a Village Rites. That's fine. Those careful taps kind of gave it away. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. Sacrifice another creature, plus X+0, where X is its power. So a little bit of life gain, that can be a problem. But we're not in a position to dispute it. And they've only have 2 pests so far. And Veto? And Veto, huh? Do we counter Veto? We can also bounce Veto, make a token, attack for 6, and then outburst for lethal, but they can gain life in response, because whenever you gain life, each opponent loses, this gains 1. What do we do? I think I'm going to try to give them an opportunity to pop off. That's my plan. I'm actually going to try to give them a racer's chance here. I'm going to go for the Borrower. No. I'm going to go for this on the Woe Strider. Let's see if they want to sacrifice their pests now. And then I'm going to make a treasure, and then if we top deck a land, we outburst them. If they don't sacrifice pests right now, they don't have any mana left. Off the top, it is a Bone Crusher Giant. It is not a land. I gave myself a good chance, though. Would have just won if I had played the Borrower. No, they would have sacrificed these and stay alive. Down to 5. Counter the Woe Strider. This still sacrifices stuff, though. We're at 16. I don't think they can kill me, but let's see what they come up with here. Here comes Woe Strider. So this is 2 life, and that's it. So yeah, there's 2 life represented here. This is a lot more than that in the air. They can deal me a good amount of damage, but I don't think it's that bad. When it dies, you gain 4 life. Okay, all right, we found our target for Mystical Dispute. We cannot have the 4 life thing happening. Blex. The Vexing Pest. My god, what a bizarre mythic. What a bizarre card. So, yeah, there's a wall of text on this thing. Basically, when it dies, gaining 4 life is the thing I'm most worried about. I stomp your face. Torrent Sculptor. Still not the land for the Creative Outburst, but I don't think they survive if we just Brazen Borrow them. ELDRAINE card striking again. But they get to do some stuff here. We could interfere with it. We could have, like, cast this, but they could do it in response. Yeah, doesn't matter. All right, how much more you want to goof here with this? All right, there you go. There you go. Drains and drains. And a good game. What a sport. Okay, I don't usually good game. Throw it back. Yeah. Punch, punch. Wink. Oh god, that emote. That emote is something. I almost forgot about those emotes until now. And we are back for the post-game wrap. And here on day one of the format, I can tell you that this deck felt like it had the closest thing to a power level to compete with the ELDRAINE cards. And the cards that really overperformed again and again were Draconic Intervention, Torrent Sculptor, and the combinations of Creative Outburst and Magma Opus. Whether if you draw these early, you get to ramp and cast some of these cards with huge payoff. If you draw these late, you get to straight up cast them and burn your opponent's face while drawing more and more burn until they're dead. So there is an inevitability engine here, as well as pretty good card selection and utility in the form of the adventure creatures and Prismari command. So this Prismari deck does feel like a fighter, and it's mostly doing that based on synergy. Now, it's day one of the format. Nobody's trying to interfere with that synergy. Therefore, it's hard to say if this is really the way that really what the meta is going to be. But I will say it's a lot more fun than I expected, and I'm really glad to report that because I certainly seem more cynical about this set than any set I've been in a long time, and it's good to be able to come back and say, all right, that was a lot better and a lot more fun than I thought it would be. Also here, before I end the video, I just want to give a heartfelt thank you. The video that I made about the end of early access, where I tried to just be honest and tell you everything I knew about what went on in it, why it's ending, and what it would mean in the future. It's had a huge response, just a stunning response from the fans and from people who don't normally watch my channel, other content creators and people around the community. Reddit was actually nice to me for probably the first time ever with regards to that video. And you guys showed up on release day and you made it a really epic stream, one that I won't forget anytime soon. So thank you. And since people keep coming to my stream and asking me this, I thought you were quitting Twitch or you promised to quit Twitch. I think that if you watch that video, I don't know how you could get that as the takeaway. I said I was considering it, but one thing I want to guarantee you, if I'm leaving Twitch, it's not going to be overnight. It's not going to be picking up my ball and going home unless they ban me for some reason, because these are the kind of things you want to do carefully and you want to do the right way. I've never been the type of person, even when I worked some really crummy retail jobs in my life, to throw my keys on the counter and storm out, and quit, right? It's just not how I do things. I gave 2-week notice even when I knew I was never coming back. And you'll get a notice if I decide to leave Twitch, although there's also been a ton of people and a lot of people who watch me on Twitch who really want me to stay. And the amount of support I received on Twitch yesterday implies that I should probably give it a lot more thought before I would do something like that. I don't know. We'll see the numbers later, but the stream I did earlier today might have been the biggest stream I've ever had. So thank you to everybody who supported. Thank you to everybody who commented, everybody who watched. Watching the content is supporting the content. So no matter what, you get a big thank you from me. And to all those who support outside of that because they have a few extra dollars, thank you so much. You guys are amazing. I have a great life, and I'm honored to be your content creator. So, with so many things to be grateful for, a cool deck, a new set, and 800 days in a row of releasing an MTGA video, and possibly my most successful stream ever yesterday in a non-early access, a self-supported early access of its own. Thank you. And thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video. You're cool.